Hello everyone. I hope and pray that you're doing well. I'm going to start by reading a little section from Elizabeth Barrett Browning's poem. She famously wrote these words: "Earth's crammed with heaven, and every common bush afire with God. But only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit round and pluck blackberries." I don't drink coffee, but I do have some morning rituals. I'm a creature of habit. Here I am in our kitchen, some of my habits, my routine, my morning routine starts even earlier. I brush my teeth, I put in my contact lenses, but also I'll come to the kitchen and I'll empty the dishwasher here, and I like to fry an egg. And for me, timing is everything. I usually, in the dishwasher, I usually empty the bottom rack of the dishwasher, and then I go over here to the table here, and I cut the bread, and then I put the cast iron frying pan on the element and I turn it on. And then as I'm emptying the top section of the dishwasher, the top rack, I start to set the table. I take stuff out and set the table, and when that top rack is empty, then the frying pan is warm enough, and I crack the eggs into the frying pan, which is at which time the toast goes down in the toaster. Our toaster is particularly slow, so that's the right timing. And when the eggs are frying, then I usually make some orange juice, right? I pull some orange juice out of the fridge. Of course, there's a system for that too, right? I make the orange juice that's in the door of the fridge, and then I replace it with one from the freezer, so that tomorrow morning, there's orange juice that can more easily be made. Anyways, all this usually kind of times out pretty well, right? The toast and the orange juice and the egg, they're all kind of ready at the same time, and it's a routine. And mostly a decent one, I think. And many of you probably have your own routines, and maybe especially on a week like this at the beginning of September, you've started your own routines or restarted your own routines, renewed some old ones. And the last couple of years, I've thought about routines a little bit differently. As a result of reading a couple of books. One is Every Moment Holy. It's a bit more of a devotional book, and the other book is Liturgy of the Ordinary. And routines can really be these wonderful opportunities, I think, to see God if we have if our eyes are open to see Him. And sometimes people can have the exact same experience, seemingly the exact same experience, and react to it totally different. So I've talked with people who've sat through the exact same worship service, two different people, and the first person, really wasn't expecting that much from the worship service. They actually didn't want to be there, and that turns out to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they found the service to be boring, uninspiring, a bit tedious, dull. The other person came to the very same worship service, and they sat literally on the edge of their pew. They were waiting to meet the living God. And it turns out, as they described it, that they met God not just in the music or in the prayers or in the scripture reading, but they also met God in the smile of the elderly, and in the children's message, and in the passing of the peace, right? In generally in how the communion of the saints kind of bolstered their own faith. Maybe as you kind of move into the fall, you need to start or to renew some spiritual routines as well. And maybe what you really need is somebody to kick you in the seat of the pants and tell you got to get back to reading the Bible. You need to get back to some devotional routines. And maybe that's what you need, right? Or maybe you need to return to a pattern of prayer or worshiping with fellow believers. And certainly that might be what you need. Or maybe you also need this, to simply pay attention again. To pay attention in the midst of your ordinary daily routines to the God who makes these routines possible. To the God of routine who faithfully, in creation, in the weather, in so many areas, shows himself to be not just ordinary, but extraordinary in the routines. And then to see your things like morning rituals, right? Even that word, right? Rituals, your morning rituals, to see those morning rituals as deliberate, sacred activities. I'll end with this quote from Frederick Buechner, where he famously has again said, "Listen to your life. See it for the fathomless mystery that it is, in the boredom and pain of it, no less than in the excitement and gladness. Touch, taste, and smell your way to the holy and hidden heart of it, because in the last analysis, all moments are key moments, and life itself is grace." The peace of Christ be with you all.